I'm Archbishop Mark Coleridge, and you are watching Q&A, question and answer for the Catholic leader. When I was growing up as a good Catholic boy many years ago, we never heard the word evangelise. It's one of those words that suddenly popped out of nowhere a few years ago, and now it's become all the rage. It simply means passing on to others the good news that has been given to us by Jesus Christ. And in the end, to have the good news, to hear the good news, is to hear the voice of Jesus, to see his face, because he is the good news, not just a message that he passes on and that I can write down on a bit of paper. The fact is, Jesus is the good news. So we have a duty as Christians, all of us, the baptised, not just bishops and priests, all of us have the duty to pass on to others the gift that we have received. And in fact, the only gift we'll ever really retain and that will grow into our life more and more deeply is the gift we give away. So that's the whole point and purpose of what we call evangelisation. Now, some of you are in the workplace. I suppose we all are in one sense or another. I like to think that I'm in the workplace too. But the question often is, well, okay, you say that I am responsible for the business of evangelisation. I have to pass on to others the good news of Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to do that when I'm in a secular world, secular workplace, I'm in a profession or whatever you're doing? How am I supposed to do it? It's all right for bishops to talk in that way. You're expected to say those sorts of things and do those sorts of things. But how am I to do it in a secular environment, in my workplace? Well, what is clear from a Catholic point of view is you don't run around trying to bash people over the head with Catholic faith understood as some kind of ideological package, forcing it down their throats. The whole business of evangelisation has to be much more human and much more subtle than that. It may not even be words you speak. Francis of Assisi said once, preach the gospel wherever you are and whenever, and sometimes use words, or use words when necessary. So it's not just a matter of ramming a message down or trying to pass on a message to other people by the use of words. The more powerful form of evangelisation in the workplace, almost certainly, is by you just being who and what you are, as one who has met Jesus Christ, crucified and risen, and who therefore has been touched by the good news which he is. And this will communicate itself in all kinds of ways, some obvious, some less obvious, to those who are working with you. They'll see the way you work, they'll see the kind of person you are, and very often they will see things that you're not conscious of yourself. So if you want to know what it means to evangelise in the workplace, in the secular environment that is yours, I think that's the answer in the end, or that's where the answer begins. Simply by being what you're called to be as a Christian. In other words, you don't take on the values or even the practices of the world, which can often be corrupt and corrupting. And we all know what goes on in any workplace. But holding fast to those values that are born of the encounter with Jesus Christ crucified and risen. By being faithful to the light of Jesus, even in the workplace, saying no to all that is dark and destructive. And that can be hard. There can be all kinds of subtle or none too subtle forms of group pressure in workplaces. But gently and firmly to say no to some of the bad stuff that goes on, and yes to the good stuff that comes to us from Jesus. In that sort of way, you will be communicating to those who work with you in ways you yourself do not recognise, but in ways that will be powerful, and powerful as forms of evangelisation, passing on to others the good news that you have received from Jesus and the good news that you have become.